Which of the following can be inferred from the letter? Okay, so there is some letter given here and we have to draw an inference. I recommend that you give it a try before we get into it together. Alright, so let's read this letter. Dear applicant, thank you for your application. Unfortunately, we are unable to offer you a position in our local government office for the summer. As you know, funding for summer jobs is limited. Okay, so some funding is limited and it is impossible for us to offer jobs to all those who apply. Okay, consequently, we are forced to reject many highly qualified applicants. Okay, so the situation is like this. There's this poor guy who has applied to this job and he didn't get it. Why? Because funding is limited. What do you mean by funding is limited? That basically means that the number of jobs is limited. Okay, funding here, how is it related to jobs? Obviously, if there is $100 of funding and salary is $1, only $100 jobs can be given, right? So jobs are limited. Many people are applying. Impossible for us to offer jobs to everyone. But yes, there are also other highly qualified applicants that we are rejecting. It's a pretty standard response from many employers. Okay, so what can I infer from this? Okay, what can I infer? Without looking at answer choices, I can say that this guy didn't get a job. Okay, anything else? I can infer that the number of jobs are limited. That's pretty much it, right? Okay, prima facie, that is what I'm able to infer. Let's look at the answer choices. I'm sure there is going to be some finer detail that we haven't still considered. Okay, the number of applicants for summer jobs in the office exceeded the number of summer jobs available. Okay, so applicants, this is greater than number of jobs. Yes, that's true. That's essentially what is given here, right? If funding for jobs is limited and it is impossible for us to offer jobs to everyone. Okay, why? Because there are more applicants than there are jobs. Okay, if that wasn't true, right, then there's no sense in this letter anyway. Okay, everyone would have got a job. Okay, so this is a good answer choice. Let's keep this, although that is not something that I had anticipated. Exactly how GMAT would give an answer choice, we don't know. But it's important for us to process this information in different ways. Try to form some sort of an answer in our mind before we get into the answer choices. Okay, so this seems to be a good answer choice. The applicant who received the letter was considered highly qualified. Okay, do we know that? They are saying highly qualified. We are rejecting many highly qualified, but you are one of those rejected. We don't know. Maybe this candidate was really unqualified for this job. Okay, so we can't really say that he was qualified. Okay, so this is out. Very little funding was available for summer jobs in the government office. Okay, now here this is a classic GMAT trap wherein they are saying, so here say funding is limited. That's the given information, and here answer choice says very little funding is available. Okay, so now you might be tempted to say that, okay, isn't this the same information? So let's pick this as the correct answer choice. No, here it means funding is limited, yes, and that's why there are fewer jobs and blah blah blah. Okay, but here what they are saying is they are trying to quantify that funding in an absolute term, in the sense that very little funding was there. Oh, other states are getting $5,000, we got only $500 or something like that. That's kind of the meaning that's coming out. Very little, it's like really low. Okay, but how does it relate to these applicants and that this particular guy not getting a job and everything? That we can't really say. Even if there was very high amount of funding, let's say like $5 million of funding, okay, this scenario could still occur, right? Obviously it will occur, right? It has nothing to do with absolute amount of funding, whether that absolute amount was very big or very low. No, it is a relative number of applicants and jobs available. Okay, so that relative relationship is what we are interested in. This is an absolute information. Okay, so again, the classic GMAT trap, relative information versus absolute information. Okay, so this is not the correct answer choice. Let's move on. The application for the person who received the letter was considered carefully before being rejected. Was it considered carefully? I don't really know. Maybe they just sent out, maybe they had only 2 jobs and the first 5 people of them were qualified, they selected 2 of them, and rest everyone they directly sent this letter. Okay, without any careful consideration, right? That's a very likely situation practically, right? But anyway, this situation, there is no information here or any logic that leads to saying that it was carefully considered. Maybe it wasn't, right? So this is out. Most of those who applied, be aware of this. Most means greater than 50%. Let's see. Most of those who applied for job was were considered qualified for the available position. Okay, 50% or more were qualified. Okay, can we say that? No, they are saying many people were qualified. We had to reject many such qualified people. More than 50% of applicants were qualified. No, we can't say that. Okay, so again, classic most versus many kind of a thing, right? So this information cannot be derived. The correct answer choice here is A.